Now we're looking at the features of rivers. Now, one major feature of a river is that all rivers have a source. Now, when we talk about the source of a river, we're talking about the origin where the river starts. For instance, when we take the longest river in the United Kingdom, that is the River Severn. It starts from the Cambrian Mountains of Wales. When we look at the longest river in the world, which is the River Nile, it takes its source from the White Nile. And the second longest river in the world, and it is sometimes considered the largest river in the world, the River Amazon. It also takes its source from the Rio Montaro River. Most often, rivers take their source from highlands or mountains, just like the River Severn, which takes its source from the Cambrian Mountains of Wales. So copy this and let's continue. Secondly, rivers have mouth. When we talk about the mouth of a river, it is where the river ends. Remember, everything that has a beginning has an end. So it has a source, and rivers also have mouths. Here we're going to look at the Severn River again. Here it ends at the estuary in England, known as the Severn Estuary. The Amazon's mouth is at the Atlantic Ocean, and the Nile ends at the Mediterranean Sea. When we talk about the Mediterranean Sea, we're talking about the sea that separates Africa from Europe. That is where the Nile ends. Rivers have width. When we talk about the width of rivers, we're talking about the distance across the surface of a river, that is from bank to bank. So here we've used a red arrow here. So when we want to find the width of the river, we're looking at from one bank to the other bank. And that will give us the width of the river. Then rivers also have depth. When we talk about depth of rivers, we're talking about the vertical distance from the surface to the bed. So that is from the surface of the river to the bed of the river. And that will give us the depth of the river. Then rivers also have a course or a channel. That is the path that they take to flow. Just like a road that a river takes is what we classify as the course or the channel. Then finally, we look at the velocity of rivers. When we look at the velocity of rivers, we're talking about the speed of flow of rivers along their course. How fast they move along their path or their course. Now, this speed that we're talking about depends on some factors, which include, 1, the nature of the land. 2, the volume of water, that is, if the water is more or less. And 3, the nature of the river channel. When the channel is rough, that means there will be a lot of boundaries which will not allow the water to move freely, thereby limiting the speed of the river. However, if the path is smooth, that means there wouldn't be any kind of boundary limiting the speed of the river, and for that matter, the river will be independent and move freely, thereby increasing the velocity of that river. With the nature of the land, whether steep or gentle, when the nature of the land is steep, that means rivers are going to flow very fast. as compared to gentle land. In other words, when rivers are flowing from on a highland, it moves quite faster than on lowlands, which are very gentle in nature. So that is it for the characteristics of rivers. Let's copy these into our notebooks, answer some few questions on them, then we continue.